Tansei, Agleneta, good day. First of all, I'd like to recognize we are on Treaty 8 territory, as well as Métis Region 1 territory. My name is Stella Lavely-Kruger. Thank you all for attending the 30th Annual Regional Aboriginal Recognition Awards. Through the past 30 years of dedication, RARA has been able to appreciate and honor our Indigenous communities. I'm just like, wow, can you believe it's been 30 years? Time flies when you're having fun, right? I remember in 1998, I started a job with Syncrude. I was working with Beverly Davies and Nora Flett. We talked about RARA, the positive impacts this award ceremony brings to our communities. So needless to say, working with two strong, determined, dedicated women, I was voluntold that I was going to start being part of RARA. And that was 20 years ago. To recite RARA's vision statement, it reads, to bestow appreciation for the achievement of Aboriginal people in, or from, this region by recognizing excellence in specific fields. By doing this in such a way that more and more people and institutions participate in ensuring that RARA makes a positive impact on all of our people's lives. So at this point, I'm going to pass the mic to my colleague, RARA Volunteer Coordinator, Tammy Tuckero.
Hi, my name is Tammy Tuckero. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a member of the Miksukri Cree First Nation from Fort Chipewyan. I grew up in Fort Chip. Stella, where's your stomping grounds? She's from Anzac. 30 years, yes, it's amazing. The turnout tonight is phenomenal. It's been a crazy few days, but we're here. I'm glad to have everybody here. I've also been, excuse me, voluntold to be a part of RARA. I'm happy to say I've received two RARA awards in my life, and now here I am. I'm going to turn it over to our Master of Ceremonies, Melanie Antoine, and she's won 3 RARAs, so I can't win another because I sit on the committee, so she's got me beat. Come on up.
Thank you for the introduction, Tammy. I am honored to be here tonight to be your MC. I will keep things moving along, and I guess we will start off. We're going to have a fun-filled evening, and I'll start off with some housekeeping. So, safety moment. In case of an emergency, out the double doors. You can go to your left or go to your right, down the double doors this way, down the stairs, and outside. Bathrooms are the same, out the double doors. Go down the halls if you haven't been in the facility before. We also have a tech line. I was notified that there's a tech line, a gray line going here. It's may be a tripping hazard, so be careful. Just be aware of it. I'm going to call up drummers, Councillor Randy Martin from the Miksukri Cree First Nation, Jimmy Noski, he's a member of the Fort McMurray First Nation, and Mitch Mercady, member of the Athabasca Chipewyan First Nation, to do the opening drum song.
So if I can get everyone to stand for this song, please. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I'd like to now call up Elder Rita Martin of the Mikisew Cree First Nation and Director of Education with Athabasca Tribal Council to do the blessing of the meal.
Kinanaskum ksimantu. Minapiago, kisagaw, iwapahtamak. Sawim nan, take, mamoe, chatuskat juitatuskim tuyak. Umotoma Regional Wood Buffalo. Kahkio isinuag, msuiti oche, take goyas, juitatuskim tuto stimina. Tututimi tuto. Wea hokinihi we miwasigo kagixnamuya simantu. Hanos kisagaw ni meiwitin utakakio ni nitsa nagbitaksikwaw. Kakio isin magminota bitohtito. Miwayato tahki chugi miwayak. Chimiwita makip matsiak, chimutikistayak, minawapum tuyake. Bukan mamstahe, iguichimtan ximantu. Nanaskumawa kugaisinwa kisichigito, as chimina upnawaswak, kawyasam guyako, igwaka sawimnan, mijunan, kuyas jisayak. Mina niganak koyas kautaksaniak. Thank you, dear Lord, my Creator, for your wonderful blessings, for giving us an opportunity to gather here together in this Regional Wood Buffalo Municipality, our home, to follow your teachings, which were to work together, to support one another, to be happy, knowing everybody that's gathered around here. I'd like to thank the organizers for this event. I want to thank the people who have prepared the food. And I've asked the good Lord to bless the food so that we may go home. We may all get home safely. Hi, thank you.
Thank you, Rita.
Thank you, Rita. So everybody, I'm sure, is very hungry, and there's a buffet on each end of the room. So we're going to do cards for the tables. I'm going to call my daughter, Sadie Antoine, up to help me with the cards. You'll have a card on your table. So we'll call up the first 5. There should be the same card on each room. Just go into your area. Pick one. First card is Ace. Ace, I don't know if it needs to be Ace of Spades. If you have an Ace of Spades on your table, you can go up and eat. Oh, just an ace in general. 4 tables. Okay, 4 tables, 2 more, 3 more. Kings, queens, and jacks. We never shuffled them. We'll call the next group in a few minutes. Mr. LaChance has been in the helping field since 1999 and still continues to help when needed. Most recently, Mr. LaChance was involved in the Transitions to Employment program, a management skills program developed to assist individuals who have been sexually exploited through current or past involvement in the sex trade. and would like to move into mainstream employment or education. So let's give a big round of applause to Adrian LaChance.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, young people. Let's give all the cooks a round of applause. What do you say, man? The only thing that rice was missing was China Lily. First of all, I'd like to thank the Creator for another beautiful day, for allowing us to gather. I'd like to thank the RARA Committee for inviting me to come and share just a little bit of my experience, my hopes, and my dreams with each and every one of you. Magigwainya epeg yosya absispugu kiano hamtanagagisi murawap mo nanas kumtun mushuma kokomok sagi tenoma. In my language, I said, I don't know anything. I'm very pitiful on my earth walk. I remember what those old people had shared with me about loving yourself first. And that's what I try to do every day. When I wake up, I look in the mirror, I say, wah, wah. I say, Adrian, I love you. I want you to help at least one person today. Simple, a simple philosophy that our ancestors had left us, that is within my DNA. Try to help one another like they tried. One contact first happened a long time ago. You see, I like to think of it this way. They came off the boat, they were cold, they were hungry, and our ancestors said, Astam, beat the gui. Come and have some tea. Come warm up by the fire. And then something happened. And to this day, we're still dealing with what had happened with that trust, that relationship that we tried so hard to build upon. But I'm not here to talk about that, young people. I'm here to talk to you, especially. Continue to invest in yourself. Continue to honor the beautiful gifts that you've been shown by your elders, the language, the culture, the tradition, but mostly the value that they placed in you with unconditional love. See, I wasn't raised with any of those qualities. In my home, which was very fractured because of alcohol, because of residential school effects, because of the 60s and 70s scoop, I was taken out of my home and I was displaced at many foster homes. And at these foster homes, this is what I would hear. Hey, you ugly little savage, you dirty little Indian, you wagon burner. I used to think, I never burnt no wagons. You know, all these stereotypes that I had to endure. As a young Indian, Matt did something to me. At the very young age of 7 years old, I didn't want to be Indian. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I was in this little group home, this foster home just east of Edmonton called Holden, Alberta. And every day I'd get into fights. Every day it would be the same hell, because I'd always get picked on. I'd always get laughed at. I'd always get spitted on. This one day, when I was just tired, I was exhausted. I didn't want to be in that community no more. I get off the bus, I go running home to my foster home, and I go running into my room, which was a closet, by the way. And I go running in there, my nose is bleeding, I'm crying because I miss home. I miss my mommy, I miss my daddy, I miss my brothers, I miss my sister. And the foster mom comes in there, what's wrong, what's wrong? I said, I don't want to be here no more. I'm tired, I want to go home. Well, maybe you need to pray. Pray, what's that? You get on your knees, you put your hands together, you talk to God, Jesus, He's powerful, He'll save you. I said, okay. So I made sure the door was closed, I didn't want her peeking at me. So I got on my knees, I put my hands to God, Jesus, whoever's up there. I don't want to be Indian. I want to be white. Oh man, woo! Yes, finally I was going to be accepted. Finally I was going to be embraced. Finally I was going to be supported. When I get the next morning, I'm more Indian. What's the guts? But I became mad at God, for a long time. I didn't pray. And then I remembered, when I was in juvenile detention center, God, come on, God, give me bail. I need bail, God. Thinking like that, real crazy thoughts like that, praying only for bail. So it was kind of like a revolving door for me, that system. It became comfortable for me, that institution. And it wasn't until the 90s where I began to really, really evaluate my life for what it was. It was a gift. For so many years, I treated it like I was a nobody, that nobody loved me, that nobody cared about me. For many, many years, I was angry. For many, many years, I felt unloved, uncared for. So I had to reach out. I had to ask, Mushumak, Kokumak. I need help. I need guidance. And it was those old people that shared with me, Agamemo, don't give up. Keep trying. One day you'll find your path. They always told me that, reiterated that to me every day. Agamemo, don't give up. Keep trying. So that's what I did. I kept trying to reinvent myself. So I went back to school, got an education, went to treatment. First time I went to treatment, I went to go find my wife. Somebody been there? Second time I went to treatment, I went to find my girlfriend. Third time I went to treatment, I said, okay, I'm not getting into another relationship. I was there for 6 weeks. The 5th week, just a week before I was going to get out, who comes walking in? Pocahontas. Gee, I just about made it. The 4th and final time I went to treatment was to get into a relationship with myself, which was the best investment I could ever do. Not to disrespect or dishonor Adrian anymore, but to say, you know what, you need a lot of love. You need a lot of patience with yourself. And that's what I had to do. Because we only have one body. We only have one mind. We only have one heart. But if you think about it, we have a really strong spirit. And I didn't honor that for all those years. I struggled with honoring the spirit. The Maori people call mana. We call spirit. For me, I had to really connect to something which helped me overcome those things, those self-doubt. I'm not worthy. I'm not ready. Not today, maybe next year. That we're so good at, self-sabotage. But then I remember those elders, Agamemo, don't give up, keep trying. So, finally, 1995, I made a conscious decision to be a helper. And this is how I came about it. I was an IV drug user, which means I was a junkie. I was on 96th Street, Edmonton, Alberta. I was one of those individuals that stood in front of a bar, and every time a cab would pull up, I'd go get their money, go inside the bar, come out, and give them their drugs. And I'd do 5 of those, and then I'd feed my own addiction. So from that ideal, from that life, I had to really find something that filled that void. Because when you quit doing drugs, drinking, taking pills, whatever, there becomes a void in your life. How was I going to fill that void? So I really, really was gravitated towards culture. I was really, really gravitated towards those elders, the ones that took the time, like George Keehuan, the late George Keehuan, the late Joe P. Cardinal, Jim Peasom. Those ones that are no longer here in a physical sense. Those are the ones I gravitated towards because they had some good medicine, which were their words. They never said, not once they never said, I don't believe in you. They always told me, you're gonna be somebody one day. For me, I had to believe, I had to buy into that. So what I began doing is telling myself in a mirror, you're gonna be somebody one day. You're gonna be somebody very important one day. I had to remind myself of that every day, investing in me. Because an old woman once said, an old Lakota elder once told me, nobody in this world can love you more than you can love yourself. And for me, that was a realization, that was an awakening to connect to my spirit and say, you know what? I love my spirit. I love my ears. I love my banak bum. You know, all these things, just self-acceptance. Just loving myself for what I am, which is a gift. Just like each and every one of you young people are a gift here from the Creator. Let's give all of our award recipients a round of applause. What do you say, ladies and gentlemen? Pakam tsitsak. You know, for me, it's a great honor to be here to share these stories with you. I had to do a lot of work on myself to transform that young, scared child, that young, lost child, whose name was Adrian, but his mom called him Babes. I had to do a lot of childhood work to go back to that young boy in those foster homes, in those group homes. And I had to tell him, Agamemo. Everything that happened to you prepared you for today, for what you are. Agichita, hey? They call it Agichita, a warrior. For me, it's a great honor to be a warrior. For me, I don't take that word lightly. There was a time where I didn't want to do this anymore. There was a time where I seen great sadness with our young people, and it hurt my heart. I was working with this young boy. I'd take him to round dances, powwows, take him to sweats. All of a sudden, he committed suicide. So right away, it was my fault. I coulda, shoulda, woulda did. I shoulda did something better for him. And I fell into a depression. The youth are not going to listen. They don't want to hear these words anymore. And it was my sister that told me, Babes, don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your children. Don't give up on your family. But mostly, don't give up on the people. That's what my sister instilled with me before she made her journey to the spirit world 4 years ago. It never gets easy when you lose a loved one. Never. You just learn to manage that loss the best way you can, the best way you know how. For me, I know she's smiling down at me. You know, I feel her with me. She was the one that gave me those words at a time where I didn't want to do this anymore, where I didn't want to be, in the public eye. Where I didn't want to be a helper or go to these communities and leave my family, leave my responsibility. You know what? But this is what I was built for. This is why I was created, was to help, to share. And it's okay not to feel okay. You young people, it's okay not to feel okay. But reach out. Talk to your parents. Talk to somebody that you can confide in. Don't feel that alone for too long. Ask for that help. If you need to talk to me, I'd be honored to talk to you. I'm here for you. I believe in you. You matter to me, and I'll never give up on you. I wish I heard those words when I was your age. All I heard was those negative things. Like I said, I had to overcome many things in my life to be the man that you see before you today. I don't think of myself as better or below anybody in here. I try to utilize and embrace humility in a good way. Humility doesn't mean to be humiliated. It means to think of yourself not above or not below anybody. Because some of you could probably teach me something about Twitter. Just kidding. But I just want to reiterate to young people, continue to invest in yourself. Continue to journey in a good way where you can inspire others. And most of all, above all, continue to love yourself. With that, my name is Adrian LaChance, and I love you all. Aho.
Let's have a big round of applause for Adrian. So there's dessert at the tables. We'll do a 10-minute break and then we'll carry on with the program. So the regional, 30 years, eh? I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the history. Tammy and Stella will be on the stage with me. The founding members were ordinary folks like you and I who came together to develop the RARA vision statement around 1986-87. It was recognized in the late 1980s that in the Fort McMurray area, Aboriginal people were seen in a very negative light. The RARA founders were motivated to organize a mechanism to address this negative image. They were very aware that there were just too many misconceptions about the Aboriginal people, and they felt the need to demonstrate to the larger community that Aboriginal people were making positive contributions to the various communities and to this region. The region at the time included Fort McMurray and the 2 local improvement districts, representing the communities to the north and south of Fort McMurray. These communities were Anzac, Johnvier, Conklin, Fort Mackay, Fort Chipewyan, and Fort McMurray. This region then became amalgamated into the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo, RMWB. One founding member, Beverly Davies, who worked for the improvement districts at that time, was always a strong voice for the Indigenous people of northeastern Alberta. She left the improvement district and went to work for Syncrude. Jim Carberry recognized her potential and her understanding of the Aboriginal community, in which she advocated for on behalf of the Aboriginal people. She worked tirelessly to develop and strengthen relationships between the Aboriginal communities and the corporate world. Bev quickly earned the respect of all peers. She was very successful at recruiting annual volunteers, and one annual volunteer in particular was Nora Flett. This was like hitting a jackpot with RARA. Bev remained involved and eventually moved into an advisory role. It was felt by many within the community when Bev passed away very suddenly in 2003. Her positive influence in the community is still visual, and her legacy will be honored for a long time to come. So for RARA's 30th year anniversary, in memory of Beverly Davies, ladies and gentlemen, help us in honoring her as we present Bev's son, Zachary Davies, with the 30th anniversary Co-Founder RARA Award.
About 2 minutes ago, they asked me if I wanted to say anything, so I'm gonna. One thing that I've always really, I've been coming to this thing for 30 years. I was 4 years old at the first one. I got to hand out awards when I was about 8 or 9 years old to different people, but one thing is not just what outside of the community thinks about the Aboriginal communities, but what the Aboriginal communities thinks about themselves. This is a really good opportunity to have positive role models in the community. And I've always been very proud that my mom was a part of this, so thank you very much for this.
Thank you, Zach. Another very important founding member is Jim Carberry, who at the time was employed by Syncrude Canada, where he was manager of Aboriginal programs. Being from Northern Ireland, he understood the differences between minority groups and has always been a very strong advocate and supporter for our Indigenous communities. He continues to be a very strong RARA supporter today, and he's definitely viewed as a solid, influential leader in our community. On a personal note, I have known Jim since I was a little girl. He has been in the community for a very long time. I can remember him visiting my grandpa Jenum in Fort Chip way back in the day. I knew they were close friends. So for RARA's 30th year anniversary, ladies and gentlemen, help us honor RARA's co-founder, Mr. Jim Carberry.
I am greatly surprised. Well, my family's here. I didn't know that till today. And I'm very proud of how RARA went. Working for Syncrude, I was able in those days to provide the plaques. The rest of it, the idea was implemented by Aboriginal people all the way. I have had nothing else to do with it but that idea to go out and, as Melanie said, to help change the negative image of Aboriginal people in the 70s. And I'm very happy to have been a part of that. As Melanie also said, part of my understanding was, having come from Northern Ireland, being a member of a minority group, knowing you could only go so far in those days, not because of your color, but because of your religion. So one summer I went to England to work and found out what a lot of the people over there thought of Irish people. So I was very lucky to understand that and to be able to help, and I really appreciate the fact that the Native people on their own have done this. Thank you very much and
So I'm going to call up the two young students that are going to be helping present the awards, and that's Gabrielle Saradiak and my daughter Sadie Antoine. They're going to be in the corner passing out the awards, so if you want to come on up. And I will call the first presenter, who will be presenting the Junior Achievement Awards. She's from the Fort McMurray Catholic School Trustees, Paula Galanzowski. Is she in the room today? Oh, there she is. Come on up.
This young lady is a student within Northland School Division and a member of the Fort McMurray, number 468 First Nation. She's a grade 4 student and is a respected, positive young role model and a great team player. She gives every assignment 100% effort as she always strives for personal best. She contributes to classroom discussions and is always respectful of others. She is involved with organizing and participating in a volunteer group that mentors younger students at recess. She is always there to lend a helping hand and to get involved in all school events. She comes from a family who are very active on the land. She's hands-on when learning about her Aboriginal heritage. She hunts, fishes, and practices her sewing and beading through her craft making. She is interested in learning her Cree language and is a truly remarkable young lady. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and congratulating the Anzac Junior Achievement recipient, Mary Jo Jensen. This young lady is a student within the Northland School Division and a member of the Conklin Métis community. She has a contagious smile and is always willing to lend a helping hand. She has excellent attendance at school, and after school she stays to help her cook them clean. She demonstrates leadership qualities every single day. She is very confident in her interactions with others and continues to lead by example with her kindness. Her younger siblings look up to her as well as her peers and in her community. She is always bright and cheery, showing more confidence in her abilities every day. She loves to spend time in the trap line with her cookum and mooshum. Here they teach her about her culture, where she enjoys helping with the trapping and loves berry picking. She is a competitive jigger and won't turn down an opportunity to enter a talent show. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and congratulating the Conklin Junior Achievement recipient, Maya Quintail. This young boy is a student at Athabasca Delta Community School in Fort Chippewan and is a member of the Mikisew Cree First Nation. He is a well-liked student by everyone he meets. He has a positive, happy-go-lucky attitude at school and in the hockey rink that rubs off on those around him. He is always well-mannered to his peers, school staff, coaches, and elders in the community. He works very hard to help his family by taking care of his younger siblings when he can, especially to ensure they get home safely on the bus after school. He started playing goalie in the Fort Chippewan Minor Hockey Club 4 years ago. Although being new to the sport and to the position, he continues to keep a positive attitude, strong work ethics, demonstrates great sportsmanship, dedication, and is an overall great teammate to have by your side. He shows that he is proud of being Aboriginal every day when he shows respect to our morning routine at school, which involves drumming, prayers, and the sharing of the elders' meditation. He also proudly represented his community for the first time last year at Native Provincials. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and congratulating the Fort Chippewan Junior Achievement recipient, Ethan P. Shea. This young lady is a kind and confident 8-year-old who is a Fort McMurray First Nation member and is a grade 3 student within Northland School Division. She enjoys school very much and does her very best work at all times. Her unwavering commitment to doing well in school, as well as her excellent attendance, has resulted in being very successful academically. She has won numerous awards in schools in areas such as culture, language arts, and attendance. Last year, she received the Citizenship Award for the Fort McMurray School. She is a natural athlete who participates in all sports available at the school, as well as many outside activities such as baseball and hockey. She enjoys power skating and hockey academy and participates in the Alberta Native Hockey Provincials. She also finds time to practice yoga with her mom. She is very proud of her Cree heritage. In school, she is a fast learner in culture class and is very inquisitive about the language and the history of the Cree people. She is particularly interested in hearing stories of how people lived off the land many years ago and is keen to learn about her heritage. She enjoys doing cultural crafts and participates in jigging and Fort McMurray Treaty Days. She is a wonderful role model for others and exemplifies the school's Proud to Be a Mackay Kid initiative. She stands out for her kindness and compassion towards every person she encounters. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and congratulating the Fort McMurray Junior Achievement recipient, Logan Fitzpatrick. This young lady is a student within Northland School Division and a member of the Chippewan Prairie Dene First Nation. She's a grade 4 student who has good attendance and tries her best in class. She is a unique person with an old soul. She's special and a very thoughtful student. She is a friend to everyone she meets. She respects her peers by encouraging them to always perform their best. She is always willing to help others and do things for the greater good of the classroom. Her dedication to learning has definitely paid off for this young girl. She understands her Dene language and does try to speak it. She learned her native language from her grandparents, auntie, and uncle. When her teacher has a cultural protocol question, she is the person they ask for guidance. She is very proud of her Dene heritage and is dedicated to learning and practicing her traditions. In the fall time, she is happy to go to gather berries and to help cut up moose meat with her grandmother. She also has a great interest in beadwork In the wintertime, she's happy to pull nets and learns how to make dry fish. This young lady thrives in multiple ways. She is an excellent student, big sister, daughter, and a community member and respected friend to her peers. Everyone that gets a chance to meet her will see right away how special she really is. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and congratulating the Father R. Perrin Junior Achievement recipient, Addison Okoho. This young lady is 8 years old and is a student of the Fort McMurray Public School District. She works well in group settings and also is a great classroom helper. She keeps the class library organized for her classmates without being asked. She shows mutual respect for herself, others, and is very respectful of any TOCs that visit the class and is empathetic to how others feel. She is a member of the Chippewa Prairie First Nation. She enjoys visiting her grandma and papa in Janvier. When she visits, her grandmother tells her stories about when she was little. She talked about an eagle carving her grandmother showed her, which her great-great-grandfather made. This young lady is very active in traditional hunting and fishing with her dad. One trip, when she was helping her dad clean a moose, she went off to pick medicinal plants from the bush, which was shown to her by her auntie. Her grandfather was known as being a medicine man in his community, so passing down traditional ways of using and respecting the land is very important to her family. Scarlett is very knowledgeable in the land and how the land is very important to her family. Her family takes her back to Janvier quite often and believe that by frequently bringing her back to where she comes from will help her learn these traditions more hands-on. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and congratulating the 2018 Fort McMurray Public School District Female Junior Achievement recipient, Scarlett London. This young man is a proud member of Fort McMurray, number 468 First Nation, and a student of the Fort McMurray Public School District. He has a good attendance and comes to school with a positive attitude and ready to learn. He is excited to learn more about his culture and to continue learning the Cree language. He participates in sports at school as well as skating and swimming outside of school. He goes above and beyond his studies, and he takes time to work with his dad on his studies. He taught his grade 4 teacher how one would greet each other and say thank you in Cree. He is quiet and respectful. He likes to help others and participate in activities. He keeps his desk area clean and respects his seat's partner's space. He is kind to his classmates and is always willing to give compliments and build up the confidence in others. He demonstrates respect for his elders by actively listening. He responds to his elders appropriately and follows through with responsibilities and commitments. He participates in Full Circle, where he is learning more about his culture. He also will be joining the Aboriginal Drum Group and is looking forward to sharing what he is learning with others. A quiet and somewhat shy student, he is working on speaking up and sharing his ideas. He developed more confidence in himself as the school year progressed and became more comfortable with speaking in front of a group of people. This year, he presented at the school-wide Remembrance Day Assembly. He is very excited to go hunting with his dad each fall. He describes practicing how to make a teepee around a campfire and helping make bannock. He did say the best part of Bannock was eating it. He looks forward to walks in the bush with his dad and looking for signs of animals. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and congratulating the Fort McMurray Public School District Male Junior Achievement recipient, Zachary Patterson. This young lady is a grade 6 student in the Fort McMurray Catholic School District. She is of Cree descent and a member of the Fort McKay First Nation. She's an outstanding young woman who is a wonderful example for her peers. She has excellent attendance and works hard to do her best in all areas. She is a confident student who regularly contributes to her classes. She is a good friend to many and a wonderful role model for the younger students. She is kind, generous, and shows deep respect for those around her. She not only works hard academically, she also contributes a great deal to her school-based sports teams by being a leader and a team motivator in volleyball and basketball. She's a dedicated athlete and a true team player. Although she proclaims to be shy, she's a natural leader and is very active in her school and community service projects. She has actively coordinated fundraisers to support the projects and is always willing to share her ideas. Most recently, she shared her leadership skills by assisting the backpacks for the homeless project team with fundraising, sources, and packing 250 backpacks full of essential items in support of the Center of Hope and the less fortunate in Wood Buffalo. In addition to being a dedicated student, a strong athlete, and a solid leader, this young lady is also an excellent ambassador for her Aboriginal culture. She is an active jingle dancer and volunteers to share her gifts at annual Indigenous feasts. Recently, she facilitated a table of staff members focused on truth and reconciliation. She shared her experiences of growing up as an Aboriginal youth, discussed her culture and traditions, and led the teachers at the table to a discussion about how we can better serve the truth and reconciliation process. She never shies away from sharing her culture and traditions with her peers and her community, and always proud to do so. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and congratulating the Fort McMurray Catholic School District Female Junior Achievement recipient, Chalisha Boucher. This young, proud Métis man is a grade 2 student of the Fort McMurray Catholic School District. He has excellent attendance and puts out great effort in daily school tasks. He presently plays on 2 hockey teams and is respected and dedicated to his teammates. He is respectful to his teachers, coaches, and peers by listening when they speak and waiting his turn. He is gaining self-confidence in his reading by putting in effort and doing extra reading when he can. He is also showing great confidence in his jigging group. He loves to show his culture by jigging in different school and community events. He has a great upbeat attitude, and he can often be seen doing the jig down the school hallways and around the house. He's very proud when he's able to showcase his Métis heritage and wears his Métis sash with extreme pride. He comes from a long line of hunters and trappers, so this has been a skill set his whole upbringing. He spends many hours out on the land with his family, whether it be at his grandpa's cabin, the family lake lot, or on the river fishing. This year, He goes along on a chicken hunt with his brother, and this winter, he's learning how to set rabbit snares. He's being taught the importance of only taking what you need and not leaving a mess on the land. He takes initiative when needed and becomes a leader. This student works hard at completing assignments and including all of his peers in group work. This young man is only 7 years old, but is such a kind and sweet soul. Continuing on this path, he is definitely going to make a fantastic leader one day. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and congratulating the 2018 Fort McMurray Catholic School District Male Junior Achievement recipient, Cruz Flett.
Can all the Junior Achievement Award winners meet in the back for pictures with the presenter? I'd like to call up the next presenter, who's going to present the Female Youth of the Year Award, and he is from Suncor, Bruno Francoeur. Oh, there you are.
This young lady is a proud Métis who shares her culture through music. Born and raised in Fort McMurray, she enjoys showing her talents by singing and playing guitar every year across Alberta and beyond. She started singing before she could walk and performing her first song in front of a crowd at the age of 3. When she began competing in singing competitions back in 2011, she won first place and has continued to win first place consecutively every year. She often gets hired throughout the regional municipality of Wood Buffalo on many occasions to entertain in all the First Nation communities in the RMWB. Whether it is playing for an elementary school fundraising concert, opening for world-class artists at local festivals and concerts, or headlining her own shows, she has evolved into one of the most respected and treasured artists in the region. In the past, she has been the opening act for many well-known bands such as Kiss, Chilliwack, Trooper, and the Canadian rock icon, the Stampeders. She also took part in Hometown the Musical, a sold-out production that was featured at Keynote Theatre, where she showed off her acting abilities, which was seen by almost 5,000 residents. Her goal is to inspire everyone through music, and she enjoys to put smiles among the faces of the people who listen to her perform. She is also actively involved in learning new things about her culture and language, and throughout her lifetime, she has obtained many different traditional skills. She first started moose calling and fishing when she was just 6 years old. She has won numerous moose calling competitions that she competed in. She began hunting when she was 9 years old, accompanying her father and uncle, and successfully calling a bull moose on her first hunting trip. She has also competed in many jigging competitions, winning first and second place out of all the many contestants. She's an honor roll student in grade 11 at Westwood High School. She has achieved a 100% average in her Guitar 10 class, and also is very polite and kindly willing to learn more and also assist others. She's also very active in sports and plays basketball for her school on the senior girls basketball team 5 days a week. And on weekends, she plays for the Aurora Basketball Club, participating in their Ladies League. She has excelled in both her academic and extracurricular activities. Her positive attitude and hard work made her a crucial member of her guitar class and an asset to the Westwood community. Ladies and gentlemen, Please join me in welcoming and congratulating the 2018 Female Youth of the Year recipient, Carly Rivers Boostrom.
Hello? Oh, okay. There it is. Hi. Time saying hello to the elders and everybody. I'd like to say that I am honored for the award of the Female Youth of the Year here tonight. Before I play a song, I just want to say thank you to everyone that came out here. And I'd like to say thank you to the organizers of the 2018 RARA Awards and all the work they put in. So let's have a round of applause for all of them. I want to say thank you to my teacher and my friend in music, Mr. Dan Talk, who nominated me for this award, as well as my uncle Jim, who also nominated me for this award. And I want to thank my little sister Kelsey for always being there for me. And she actually got a RARA award last year in the past. And next weekend, me and my sister are opening up for the Alberta Winter Games with the Canadian National Anthem. And just so you know, a portion of the anthem will be sang in Cree. Now, I'd like to play a song for you. This song is called Wish It Was True, and it's by the White Buffalo. Mother, try to do right by you, do what you asked me to, I did wrong and I knew. Mother, I try to behave for you. Now I'm a digging a grave for you. It was all I could do. Find a way back home, make everything new. But I wish it was true. Father, well, I gave my soul to you. I came in blindfolded for you. It was all that I knew. Open your arms and I'll fly, fly up to you. But I wish it was true. Boy, come on out from the cold. You're lost outside there, don't you know? It's not what you say, it's what you do. Just keep wishing your wishes are true. Well, your dreams, they're reality now. There's no pain, there's no misery. Just polish the blood and the bruise, for there's just no way you can lose. Well, I wish it was true. Country, I was a soldier for you. Did what you asked me to. It was wrong and you knew. Country, now I'm just a stranger to you. A number, a name, it's true. Throw me away when you're through. Home of the brave and the free, the red, white, and blue. I wish it was true. Thank you.
Let's give her another round of applause, guys. That was amazing. Our next superstar of Fort McMurray. I'd like to call up the next presenter, Christine White with Nixon. She's going to present the Male Youth of the Year Award.
This caring and friendly young man is a proud member of the Mikisew Cree First Nation. He's always respectful to those around him. His kind nature makes him well liked by his peers. He is a non-judgmental, very humble, and gentle individual who's always willing to lend a helping hand both at school and at home. He's always open to sharing his knowledge about his culture and participates in classroom discussions to share his teachings. A great deal of his knowledge comes from his grandmother, who has been a survivor of a residential school, and he often expresses his concerns at home about the lack of education received on the history of Indigenous people. His mother specializes in educating others about Indigenous cultural awareness. Through this, he could attend a session with her. He also made a point of participating in Orange Shirt Day. He enjoys hunting with his grandpa and snared his first rabbit when he was 12 years old. He loves being outdoors and has the survival skills to be out in the natural environment. He wore his moccasins to Trinidad, and when asked about them, could explain which animal, fur, and process it took to make the moccasins. He is an active member of his church and is a youth mentor. He's also captain of the Bible Quizzer team, where they participate and came in 5th out of 12 teams. He takes a lot of discipline and commitment to learn 500 Bible verses. He also is looking forward to having the opportunity to play drums or piano for the church. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and congratulating the 2018 Male Youth of the Year recipient, Helen Alexander.
Good evening. First, I'd like to thank all the organizers for this incredible event. I've been going here for to the RARAs for a few years as my Mom was, I was an organizer, and I see how much effort and how much work had to go into the organization of this. And I'd like to thank those first. Round of applause, please. I also thank all those who had a part in nominating me, Mrs. Dampier, Mrs. Tobin, Miss Lacey, and Miss Hilton-Tager. Thank you for nominating me. I feel very honored to receive this award. Also thank God for blessing me with great parents that I know I would not be where I am today without them. Through their guidance and through their love, I know that they taught me so many things, and I'd like to thank them for that. I also like to congratulate all the other recipients of the RARA Awards tonight. Thank you, and have a good night.
I'd like to call up the next presenter, Chief Fern Johnbay from the Chippewa Prairie First Nation. He will be presenting the Elder Award.
This proud elder is a huge supporter of Indigenous education in our region. She is currently the director of the Athabasca Tribal Council's education programs. She continuously helps influence and support youth in Fort McMurray and our 5 First Nations in the region. She is originally from Fort Chipewyan and a member of the Mikisew Cree First Nation. She grew up in the bush and living off the land while being taught the traditional ways of life. This amazing lady was recently honored to be one of the inductees for the 2017 Builders of Wood Buffalo Through Careers, the Next Generation Wood Buffalo. She previously worked for numerous years with Northland School Division in Fort Chipewyan. She was the chief of the Mikisew Cree First Nation from 1986 through 1989, signing a multi-million-dollar land claim that is still being utilized today. She continues to educate others on the Cree history and language, also a part of helping create the Cree language app that ATC had developed. She is proud of her Indigenous culture and to be from the North. She is a strong leader and a community treasure. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and congratulating the 2018 Elder Award recipient, Rita Martin.
Tansen Ndutimtik at Planet A. Bonjour. Good evening. I want to thank the elders who are here. They're an important part of history. And I also want to thank the organizers from the RARA for their dedication, all the work they've done for the past 30 years and going forward as well. I also want to thank all the people who have passed that were recipients of the awards. And it's always good to recognize our ancestors, our leaders, our elders that have passed on. At one point in time, we're happy to stand in front of you here to accept the award. And one of them is my late father. I also want to thank my ATC family for nominating me for this award. And I want to thank my family who have come from the north to be with me in getting this award. It's truly and a good opportunity to be here to share some of our history, our culture, and to see the young people now following the footsteps of our ancestors, wearing their traditional moccasins, dancing, going on the land to hunt, to learn their traditional teachings. And at the same time, the Métis people who are coming up with their Métis music. It's so important to share all the legacy or history of this region. Kananas kumtna o magakio o te kapituhtik, pima mopik, piwa mai ko gagaisinwak, o ma inosuni to te nipoto, igaskista masuto kigoyo mahimito, miwasanan mogan man tu timtek. As chimina mataki tu timihtuyak, kakio kiano ino akumota pichai, kiamata pito soche magawo tobo. Regional Wood Buffalo Municipality and Keynote. Hey, and then ask him no.
I'd like to call up the next presenter, President Diane Scoville, from the Métis Nation Region 1 Council. She's going to present the Trapper Award.
This man is an amazing trapper who has lived in Fort McMurray for his entire life. He has grown up around the bush and trapping and took over the family trap line after the passing of his parents. He holds 50 years experience on trapping, and his dedication to this skill is evident in his actions on running his trap line year-round. His love for the bush can be seen through his stories, children, and his traditional crafts in his home. He also realizes the importance of passing on these traditions onto his children, who spend a lot of time with him, learning the techniques of skinning, stretching, and tanning hides, just as he was taught. He is also very aware of the balance in taking just what is needed to sustain his family and to pass on traditions. His environment surrounding his cabin is kept as clean and natural enough that wildlife is often seen eating the vegetation around his cabin. Passing on this knowledge has been an essential part to him and is always willing to share his knowledge with everyone and offers traditional foods from his trap line to the elders around his community and to ensure nothing is wasted. He is a well-known trapper to all trap line holders in the region and has been active in trapping since he was old enough to walk. It runs in his blood, as his father, mother, and great-grandfather were also avid trappers. He is respected as a role model because of his love for the bush and the pride he shows in trapping. And being able to pass these traditions on and the importance of balancing the work and trapping in his life is evident. He's not only a great role model to his children, but to anyone who has the privilege of crossing his path. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and congratulating the 2018 Trapper of the Year recipient, Arnold Fake Me.
I just want to say thank you to Audrey for nominating me. And I want to say thank you to the family for coming out and supporting me. And I also like to say thanks to the RARA people and all the audience here. Thank you.
Congratulations, Arnold. The next presenter is Carla Buffalo from Athabasca Tribal Corporation. She will be presenting the Culture Award.
This Mikisew Cree First Nation member spent his first 8 years of his life on the trap line, just 7 miles north on the Athabasca River. He loved to fish as soon as he was old enough to fish. He was out there fishing every day. The fishing was great. With the clear water, a person had to be unlucky not to catch a fish with almost every catch. The family then decided to stay close to home, which was Anzac by that time. His family managed the fishing boat rentals on Gregoire Lake. With a love for fishing, he became quickly adept at going out on the boat by himself, driving the motor and knowing the fishing spots. When he was 8, he would spend his weekends on the trap line with his parents. The family would all travel in 4 skidoos, which required considerable amount of skill to go through the forest and hills to get to their cabin on Christina River. He then became his late dad's buddy for trapping and was taught how to trap. He trapped wolves and was always proud to go whenever he could. He was 9 years old when he killed his first moose. While on the trap line, he woke up early and left on his own. Since everyone else decided to take a break, about an hour after he left, he came back and woke up his parents to tell them about his kill. They did not believe him and took their time before they went out to check on the kill. Sure enough, the moose was lying on the snow on the lake, and they proceeded to skin and haul the meat home. He never liked school. He would rather be out on the land doing what he loved. He grew up on the land with its beauty, its stillness, and freedom to just be what he wanted to be. There were no rules, no laws to follow. Life was what you made it to be. He has 2 beautiful girls who have gone hunting with him since they were young. His oldest girl got her first moose when she was 9 as well. The second got her first moose last year. Each fall they go on a fall hunting trip for up to 2 weeks. His frequent boating trips to Chip takes him to his traditional territory to hunt for ducks. His skill at hunting ducks quickly pays off, and he gets ducks to share with his family in Fort Chipewyan. He leads by example as he promotes the 7 traditional teachings. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and congratulating the 2018 Culture Award recipient, Ryan Martin.
Good evening. I'm not much into speeches, so I'd just like to say thank you to the people that nominated me and for all the other recipients of awards tonight and everybody that put this on. It's an awesome event, and I'd like to say thank you. Thanks.
Happy birthday, Ryan. And congratulations. The next presenter I'd like to call up is Ken Bell with Syncrude. He's going to be presenting the Leadership Award.
This proud member of the Fort McMurray First Nation number 468 has showcased his dedication on the betterment of his nation throughout his life. He had spent his childhood in numerous schools, including residential school, but seen the value in an education and the benefits it would have on his life. He also made a point throughout the years to take an active role in the preservation of his culture and language. Realizing the importance of passing on this knowledge has been very important to him. Wanting to help First Nations people, he decided to take on a political role to help improve the living conditions, education, and employment training of the people on his reserve. His leadership on the betterment of his community did not stop after politics. He continued working on several initiatives that would have a positive impact for himself and his people. He has also been a strong advocate for the preservation of his language and culture by hosting several cultural camps for youth in which they learned the traditions and teachings of the teepee, as well as fishing, trapping, survival skills, animal calls, drumming, and outside cooking. He also introduced the spiritual aspect of being Aboriginal with smudging, prayer, and the sweat lodge, in which he received recognition for the active role he plays in the preservation of Aboriginal traditions and received such an award by the Aboriginal Role Models of Alberta. With all the achievements this gentleman has accomplished, he has inspired youth in the community to continue with Aboriginal awareness, especially with drumming. He is always willing to help wherever help is needed. He demonstrates a positive attitude by being quick-witted, motivational, neutral, and unbiased. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and congratulating the 2018 Adult Leadership of the Year recipient, Robert Cree.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is my second speech today. I sit on a board of the Multicultural Association, so I had to go and do a welcoming speech this afternoon, just over here at the curling, right beside the curling ring. So, but this crowd is a lot more larger than where I was, and get a little excited. Anyway, thank you to RARA committee members and all the people that were involved in putting this very special award ceremony this evening. I'm here today to offer my sincere gratitude to the people that put my name forward. And I think that was my family that did that. And one day, my son came to my office taking pictures of my previous awards provincially. And it's not like my son Jeffrey to come into my office, start taking pictures with me in those awards. So I knew something was happening. And here I am. Thank you very much. And of course, my wife being a supporter also, and they're way in the back over there, supporting me all these years on the work that I had to do. I'd also like to thank the dozens of people that have played a role in my life to receive such an honor. Some have gone on to the spirit world, while the other peers are still here for peer support. Though this award that I am receiving brings height and importance to me, I will still sincerely and honest and humbly continue to strive for the betterment of the people, both young and old. One thing I would like everyone to do as we leave here this evening, I'd like to ask the members here of the audience to take a moment to think about the importance of education. The children of this generation, tomorrow, problems demand bright, hardworking individuals is by acting as a community to support our schools, our teachers, and the countless people that they depend on for their continued strength. Thank you. I wish everyone good health and prosperity this evening. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Robert. Our next presenter is Councillor Powder from the Fort McMurray First Nation. He will be presenting the Outstanding Athlete Award.
This young man loves to play all sports. He started playing hockey at the age of 5. He has received numerous Player of the Game and Heart and Hustle awards at tournaments. He currently plays hockey Tier 1, but also plays AA hockey, AAA spring hockey. He will be going to the Alberta Native Hockey Provincials in April with the Wood Buffalo team. He's on the ice 4 to 5 nights out of the week, and when off the ice, can be found at dryland training or going to school and excelling. He does his homework on the bus as they travel out of town for games. When hockey season is over, you can assure that he is at hockey camp so he can always keep on his game. He's an avid downhill skier and plays on the basketball team, the volleyball team, and can't wait for baseball to start. Last year, he made the baseball A team for the Oil Giants. He can't wait to start junior high so he can enroll in Hockey Academy. He's also a keen rider in dirt bikes and quads. He is a role model in so many ways, but most importantly, to his family. He continues to show dedication and determination and sets a good example for the love of the sports he plays. He is a role model to his friends at school, as he always makes sure to be a friend to kids with disabilities. He has a soft heart for elders and younger kids, especially babies, and always wants to be helpful. He learns about bush life and living off the land and never takes anything for granted. Everything takes hard work and dedication. He looks up to his papa, who is his biggest role model. He has always naturally been a volunteer by helping where he can. He's a snow angel for the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo, shovels driveways and sidewalks for seniors. He's a junior leader at his school, helping supervise at recess, helping design bulletin boards, helping with the program, and being the MC for the Christmas concert. He also helps read to younger kids in his school. And he also helps collect donations for the food bank and help wrap presents for Santa's Anonymous. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and congratulating the 2018 Outstanding Athlete Award recipient, Ryder Carroll.
Good evening. I would just like to thank my parents and my grandma and papa for allowing me to do the stuff that I love, to keep me going in life. Thank you.
Great job, Ryder, and congratulations. The next presenter I'd like to call up is Dr. Brenda Sotner from Keynote College. She will be presenting the Outstanding Adult Student Award. Brenda?
This year's recipient has always wanted to be a teacher. Working in the field as an educational assistant at the Athabasca Delta Community School only served to confirm her commitment and focus on the community of Fort Chipewyan. The teachers with whom she worked and her principal encouraged her to pursue this because they believe she will be an excellent teacher. Although she already had the courses to enter the Bachelor of Education directly, she wanted to do it right if she was going to do it. She is determined she needs to redo her courses so she could be in peak condition to excel in the Bachelor of Education program. She's an enthusiastic student and makes the best of every moment when she is in the class or library. She loves to read, and having access to the library at Keynote College's Fort Chipewyan campus has been a treat in itself. She loves school, teaching, and the students, and yet she has had to reduce her hours to pursue her long-term goal of returning as a teacher rather than an educational assistant. It has not been easy for her to return to take these courses and prepare to the standard she has set for herself. But she is doing it. She excelled in her first semester and is back again. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and congratulating the 2018 Adult Student Award recipient, Susanna Redwood.
Congratulations, Susanna. The next presenter I would like to call up is Gary Flett with Acton, and he will be presenting the Arts Award. This young lady was raised in Fort McMurray and is currently a dance instructor for the Generation Dance Studio. She has attended the Toronto Media and Film Dance College and has also danced under the Source Dance Company in Vancouver. She was also one of 2 Canadians chosen to do a 6-week U.S. national tour with Hawk Tour's Dance Caravan. Most recently, she has been bringing awareness to missing and murdered Indigenous women through her dance choreography entitled Coming Home, in which she has received many accolades for this choreography. She has also received the 2009 Choreographers Award from Edmonton's American Dance Awards and the 2017 Wood Buffalo Excellent in Arts Award for her choreography, as well as many other awards and scholarships through her dance instruction at Generation Dance Studio. She brings with herself a light of inspiration and passion in her dancing and instructing. She is dedicated to the youth around her by encouraging them to express themselves through movement and different types of dance. She always has to try your best attitude with the youth she works with and has won countless awards for her choreography abilities. Ladies and gentlemen,
Please join me in welcoming and congratulating the 2018 Art of the Year Award recipient, Melinda Richter.
Hello, everyone. I really think my path in life was chosen long before I even knew what I was going to do. My Indian name is Woman Who Dances with the Eagles, and from the age of 8, I was dancing and haven't stopped. When I told the girls that we were going to be doing a piece about murdered and missing Aboriginal women, they didn't even know there were any, let alone 5 from our own region. So it was then that our dance became so much more than winning first or getting any choreography award. It was that every time the dancers took the stage that we could bring awareness and maybe open one more person's eyes to the situation. Each girl was given a name of a murdered or missing Aboriginal woman, and every time the dancers took the stage, they took a moment and thought about who they were dancing for. On Mother's Day, as I stood backstage with our dancers, they looked at me and said, "Miss Melinda, this time we're going to perform for all the mothers of the murdered and missing Aboriginal women." The dance, I think, opened so many more people's eyes to the situation that didn't even know. We had people come up to us after we performed the number at competition, thanking us and just saying, wow, we had no idea this was even going on. I want to thank my dancers who I think brought so much love and passion and understanding to the dance, because without them, without their dedication, without them even taking what the dance really meant and really performing it, we would have never have been able to touch people in the audience to take a second to think and to even inquire. I want to thank my mom for being here. It said I was raised in Fort McMurray, but I want to say that I am from Jonvier, and I'm proud. My dad's from Jonvier, and if, you know, he's working right now, but I know if he was here, he'd be like, you say where you're from and you be proud. So yeah, thank you. And I guess I better thank my husband, because I'm recently married and I waited a long time to get married. He made me wait like 10 years. So thank you. And I just hope that more people will open their eyes to what is happening around us. And thank you.
Congratulations, Melinda. The next presenter I'd like to call up is Deputy Mayor Jeff Peddle. He's with the RMWB, and he'll be presenting the Volunteer Award.
This couple from Fort Chippewa is currently raising 5 beautiful children and still find the time to help the youth of their community. This speaks volumes about the type of people they are. They maintain an alcohol and drug-free lifestyle and are active at the community gym promoting healthy fitness lifestyles to both the youth and many community members, where they are all like personal trainers. Coming from a small town battling numerous stereotypes, this couple is helping to break the cycle through sports. Slowly, parents and community members are becoming more supportive and even come out to cheer on the youth. Since they moved back at the end of last year after having lost their place in the Fort McMurray wildfire, and even during the evacuation, they came back to Fort Chippewa and continued supporting and helping with sports for the youth. They are passionate about the youth and want to give them every chance to get ahead in life, from encouraging them to hit the ball and to being a mentor off the field. One time they had a van and it was minus 45 and they had 52 youth show up at the gym for soccer, and they made sure they had fun, plus drove every one of them home afterwards. They were asked in the past, why do they do sports and programming for the youth? And they both said, because at the moment in time, they are playing sports, and whatever they are facing at home, with their friends, and at school, they are safe, and they can be a youth and have fun and put everything else aside. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and congratulating the 2018 Volunteer Award recipients, Paul Tuckero Jr. and Judy Ann Cardinal.
I was just bugging Judy on the way here. I was saying now is the time she likes to talk when you have practices, so I was going to let her go first. Come on, Judy. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out here tonight. Even though we got the award, we want to accept this on behalf of all the youth in Fort Chip. And it's funny here, growing up, my dad always said, doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't have, if you have all the money in the world, or if you have no money, you still, you find a way to give back. And it's kind of funny, I was looking at the list there, and I noticed that my dad also won this award back in, I can't remember the year. But, at our home, like even now, they're watching the UFC at home back home, and my two older boys there, and there's lots of kids at our house, which it's where it's always like that, and we wouldn't have it any other way. But I had it all planned out what I was going to say, but there's a lot of eyes and this light's bright. But when we volunteer, I like to think of this quote that I found. It says that if should have brought my phone. But I'm gonna go. Oh yeah. It's right there. But it says, I used to look around and see nothing going on and wonder why somebody's not doing something. But then I realized I'm somebody, so that's why we do what we do.
Congratulations, Paul and Judy Ann. The next presenter I'd like to call up is Cheryl Alexander. She's with NABA, and she'll be presenting the Entrepreneur Award.
This year's recipient is a member of the Athabasca Chippewan First Nation and has lived in the region for over 28 years. She grew up between the communities of Fort Chippewan and being raised by her grandma in the bush of Fort Smith, Northwest Territories. Her love for nursing began when she was in the 2nd grade and helped care for her elderly grandparents and her uncle when he was suffering through cancer. Despite a lot of adversity in her young years, she enrolled into nursing and successfully graduated in 2005. She knew she would own her own business one day. In 2009, This is when her dreams started knocking on the door and just became louder and louder. She attended the Alberta Aboriginal Youth Entrepreneurs Camp. She came out first and won the free business life coaching, which helped her understand the field. Then in 2014, after her second child was born, she began actively planning for Medica North and decided not to look back. As the founder and president of Medica North, she contributes to her community by offering her time in entrepreneurship talks. For example, she became the first Wood Buffalo Innovations guest speaker to encourage other entrepreneurs to go after their dreams. She was asked by the chair of business program at Keyano College to speak to their strategic business class. They were all very enlightened and impressed with her level of knowledge in business, self-taught, and passion she came with. She will become the first live case study for this class. Her company is a proud supporter of the Northern Lights Health Foundation by donating $9,000 to this year's Festival of Trees Gala Tree Auction. She was also a volunteer at the SMS Wine Auction in 2017, which supports Big Brother, Big Sisters of Wood Buffalo. She displays a high standard of service to her customers through her level of confidentiality and professionalism. She provides occupational health testing services, one of Wood Buffalo's only professionally owned and operated Indigenous business that is not in the trades. She is the first university graduate within her family and went on to specialize in occupational health nursing post her degree. She supports local employment through encouraging others to enter into the nursing faculty if they desire to be an RN. She is always an ear to talk about her struggles and triumphs in her schooling and wants to help more and get further involved with Keyano's nursing faculty and Indigenous nursing. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and congratulating the 2018 Entrepreneur of the Year Award recipient, Robin Balaburn, Medica North.
I'm honored and humbled to be selected as the 2018 Entrepreneur of the Year. These past 2 years have definitely been a learning curve for me, but I'm enjoying every bit of it. I'm extremely proud to say that Medica North is the only First Nation owned and operated specialized company of its kind in a professional capacity in Northern Alberta by an ACFN member. My company is an occupational health service company. We support employers in creating healthy employees and safe working environments. Medica has been a dream of mine for a very long time, and I couldn't have accomplished this dream without the help from some very important people in my life. And I'd just like to take a minute to thank everyone. I'd like to thank my mom. Grandma Bush's love shines through you. We all feel it. I feel blessed every day knowing that I have you in my life. I'd like to thank my uncle for all his wise advice and always being there to listen. And you unknowingly gave me the confidence to go further and push further when things got tough. I'd like to thank my business partner and brother-in-law, Sean Adams of Phoenix Industrial and Yatu Industrial. You've seen that fire inside me to be successful in business and took a chance on my dream with me. All these small little pep talks that you have given don't go unappreciated. I value your keen business skills and most importantly, your dedication to our family. I'd also like to thank my family. You guys are my world. Thank you for your unconditional love and support throughout all these changes in our lives, and in the past 2 years especially. I'd also like to give appreciation to RARA team. People like you are so amazing. To manage and coordinate events like this and recognize all these outstanding individuals in our community. So thank you. And lastly, a big congrats to all the recipients. All I have to say is just be proud. Celebrate all your accomplishments, your successes, no matter how big, how small they seem. And always include the people that mean the most to you, that support you, and that love you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Robin. The next presenter I'd like to call onto the stage is Krista Watson with Enbridge. She'll be presenting the Female Citizen Award.
Our next award recipient is a proud member of the Fort McMurray First Nations number 468. Throughout her life, her work and passion has always been at the Indigenous grassroots. Whether it was working on Métis, gaining proper recognition, or using the knowledge gained in this area to better understand the issues of her First Nations people. She spent many years working with the Manitoba Métis Federation on the advancement of the Métis for rightful recognition. She worked on the research in the historical land claims, worked on programs and services, and on the advancement of Métis rights at all levels of government. She also has her hand in organizing numerous community-driven events. After great success, she decided it was time to move back home to Fort McMurray. Shortly after moving home, she was able to gain employment with her First Nations and began working with the government as the first point of contact for consultation. She was then approached by the nation's leadership to take on the role as band manager, knowing she would have significant impact utilizing her skills that she gained in her work with the Métis. She became the band manager and is still in this position today, where she oversees the administrations of the nation, community events, social programs, infrastructure, and so much more. Knowing where she comes from keeps her humble. She's a mother and grandmother who goes over and above. She is definitely a fighter. This remarkable woman is a cancer survivor who beat all odds. She continuously works hard towards positive change within her community, which makes her a confident role model to the younger generations. She is a smart, positive thinker with a lot of empathy for Aboriginal people. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and congratulating the 2018 Female Citizen Award recipient, Cindy Miller.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to take a moment first off to acknowledge, of course, our elders, for without them, we would not be here tonight. To my family, who's always so supportive. To my nation, Fort McMurray 468, for allowing me to continue to serve our people. To the RARA committee and organizers for their 30 years of commitment in recognizing the achievement of Indigenous people. And lastly, just congratulations to all the other recipients. It is truly an honor. Thank you.
Congratulations, Cindy. The next presenter I'd like to call up is Peter Knight with TransCanada, and he will be presenting the Male Citizen Award.
This year's Male Citizen recipient is an extraordinary human being. He's a father of twin boys and a dedicated husband. He alone has saved lives within Fort McKay and saved the community from heartache by doing so. He has spent countless hours taking courses to better himself and his skills. He also took his EMR course while working, volunteering, and still made time for his wife and kids. He has been on numerous traffic collision calls and saved lives in those situations when possible. He has responded to explosions at Syncrude, at house fires, vehicle fires, and also the Fort McMurray wildfires. He is driven to provide exceptional care during emergency situations, has extensive hands-on experience with numerous medical calls. He is brave beyond measure, can adapt and control any emergency situation he is put in, all while remaining calm. He puts his heart in his volunteer work, and it shows. He is a volunteer with the Fort McMurray Fire Department for over 3 years now, and during that time, he has never missed a call unless he was at work or out of town. His due diligence has paid off as he became fire captain in no time. He also volunteers at work as a member of the Syncrude Mine Rescue, which can be a very dangerous job. His impact on the community has been a big asset and continues to be. He has saved numerous lives to almost delivering babies. He's a role model and mentor for younger generations. There were young people who followed in his steps and have even come to surpass him because he paved the way. He has raised the bar at the Fort McMurray Fire Department and has brought it to a level it has never seen before his arrival. This outstanding man has won numerous awards and medals. His most recent award in November 2017, the Dave Plews Memorial Award, one of the most recognized and prestigious awards at Syncrude. He has been featured in 2 of Syncrude's magazines, Synergy and Pathways. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and congratulating the Male Citizen Award recipient, Dwight Flett Jr.
I'd just like to say I'm truly honored and thankful for being chosen for the Male Citizen of the Year Award. I'd like to thank my friends and family, parents and elders and everyone that put together this event for RARA. And I'd especially like to thank my wife for nominating me. If it wasn't for her, all the numerous hours of training and on-call emergencies, it wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for her while she took care of my twin boys. Thank you, and everybody have a good night.
Congratulations, Dwight. The next presenter that I'd like to call up is Jim Carberry, the co-founder of RARA, and he will be presenting the Lifetime Achievement Award. I'd also like to call up Tiffany Flett, who will be speaking.
Good evening. Tonight it's my honor and privilege to be able to read out the Lifetime Achievement Award. Our recipient tonight has spent her life being an advocate for the uplifting and advancement of others. She has strived and achieved to bestow appreciation for the accomplishments of the Aboriginal people. She sat and chaired on many boards and committees, including the Cannon College Board of Governors, Fort McMurray School and Industry Committee, the Past Due Place Detox Center, and was the president of the Metis Local, and our very own Regional Aboriginal Recognition Awards. Her strive for the betterment of all in the community has made her a pillar of strength, well known not in just her family, but in all of the regional municipality of Wood Buffalo. There sure are a lot of eyes, hey? Our recipient not only inspires by her words, but by her actions as well. She has chosen to live a life free from alcohol, and as such has inspired others around her. Her presence has always been a safe place for those in struggle. She demonstrates a constant strength in her faith and pride in her roots. Her genuine warmth and concern for others in need always leaves those that she meets with positivity. She's passed on her knowledge and love of her Cree culture and all Aboriginal cultures and traditions to family and friends alike. She has consistently shown strength, commitment, and faith that if we can stand together and promote one another, there are no mountains that one cannot climb. She advocates pride and knowledge to everyone she meets and the younger generations as to what an incredible gift it is to be Aboriginal. Our recipient has further been acknowledged for her accomplishments in such ways as being the recipient of an Esqueo Award by the Institute for the Advancement of Aboriginal Women. Her community has shown faith in her abilities by appointing her to the Mayor's Task Force on Crime Prevention and Community Safety, as well as being appointed to the Fort McMurray Community Services Advisory Board. She joined the committee for the Regional Aboriginal Awards just 2 years into its development that you see today, and has served as the chairman until just this past year, where she has passed down the flame to the next generation. This amazing woman has kept the beautiful dream of what our late and dearly departed Beverly Davies started this anniversary 30 years ago, along with our honored guest, Jim Carberry. And I can guarantee you that Beverly is looking down on you tonight. You never gave up on her dream, and you carried strong her legacy. The Regional Aboriginal Awards tonight are celebrating their 30th anniversary. So tonight, she can watch not only her dream, but the dream of her best friend become exactly what they all knew that it always could be. If we all came together as one and lifted one another, we are unstoppable. In her time with RARA, the prestige and notoriety has inspired likewise awards on a provincial and a national level. Her roots start in the northern community of Fort Chipewyan, where her own father was raised beside our beloved Elsie Yannick, and reach as far as British Columbia. Herself and her husband of 44 years chose Fort McMurray to raise a family in 1979, and we are all the better for it. Ladies and gentlemen, our 2018 Lifetime Achievement Award recipient, my mother, Mrs. Nora Flett.
Now that was an absolute surprise. I want to say, you know, one of the reasons I loved RARA was because it brings all of the Aboriginal communities together. Anzac, Conklin, John Vay, Fort McMurray, 468 First Nation, Fort Chipewyan, ACFN and Mikisew Cree, all the Métis people, Fort Mackay, and they come together in a spirit of celebration. You can always feel the positive energy in the room. And that was very apparent right from the start. I want to say thank you to God our Father first for the beautiful life that He has given me, for the beautiful family I have. I want to say thank you to all the RARA volunteers over the years, to Stella Kreutzer. Man, I waited for that girl to grow up so she could take over. I just have to tell you that many years ago, there was Bev Davies, Dale Hyde, Judy Best, and Stella Kreutzer, and I all working for Bev. And being part of working with her, knowing her personality, her honesty, her integrity, how she made every single person that she spoke to feel like you were the most important person in the room, rubbed off on all of us. And we all tried so hard to emulate her lessons. I especially want to say thank you to my husband for the patience and the many, many years of watching the papers pile up on the kitchen table from November until the RARA event happened. Sometimes he didn't look that happy about all those papers there, but he persevered. And But I have to tell you something. I have to tell you how I came to attend the first RARA event. My mom and dad had moved here from Fort Smith. And I went to see Mom one day and she said, Nora, there's a banquet in town somewhere and it's just for Indian people. I want you to go find out where it is and buy me a ticket and take me there. And I was like, what? Where did you hear this? On the radio. There's a hotel here. You find out where it is. Well, I did. You know what? It was at the Quality Hotel. And I always remember that the community of Fort Chipewyan put on a fashion show. And everybody was wearing their Aboriginal clothing. Trappers, dancers. It was amazing. It was amazing. I was never so proud to be an Aboriginal person. Well, I was very lucky because the next year I was invited to be part of the committee. And it was too good of an opportunity for learning, for meeting people, for being able to advocate on behalf of Aboriginal people, for me and many, many other volunteers to ever turn down. I also want to tell you another lesson. It was Beverly. We were just a couple years into the event, maybe the second, maybe the third. She came to a meeting one day. She was livid. She said, I'm going to tell you something. If you think being on this committee is something that you should go to the oil can and brag about as you're partying the night away, you got something else to think about, because that's not the way we want to represent our people. You know, her words were so strong, so powerful. I found myself thinking, holy smokes, I think I better stop drinking. And I did a few years later. But you know, in everything that I've learned about Aboriginal community over the years, a very important thing I learned is alcohol is not part of our culture and our tradition. And it's just a lesson that I keep on trying to teach all of our young people. I promise you, my children have heard it many times. I also need to say thank you tonight to my sisters. There's 5 of us here tonight. The other one's in heaven watching us with our mom and dad and our brother. And I'm so grateful that they traveled down from the Northwest Territories, and the other one traveled down from Kamloops, BC, to be part of this celebration. I'm so proud that I have children and grandchildren sitting in this audience. I need to tell you about Fort Chipewyan. Even though I was born in the Treaty 8 area, my dad took us away from Alberta because he wanted to save us from the residential school experience. And he took us to BC. And we lived in a community where there were so many different cultures that we did not experience racism and prejudice. We were treated like everybody else. The ones that gave us the hardest time were the Anglican girls, because they didn't like those Catholic girls that walked past their neighborhood sometimes, so my sister and I had to learn how to run real fast. So, the first time, growing up in Terrace, spending some time in Prince George, I always heard stories about Fort Chipewyan. I always heard stories about how beautiful Fort Chipewyan was, how Dad wanted to go back there, about his friends that he loved so much, and how beautiful the people of Fort Chipewyan were. I was in love with the place before I ever saw it. And then one day, my husband asked me if I wanted to go to Fort Chipewyan with him, and my dad said, "Can I come for a ride?" So we did. Well, On the way, we learned that the uncle that Bucky was taking me to meet happened to go to residential school with my dad in Fort Chip. And they were very close. And when he went into the house and saw my dad, they both grabbed each other and were hugging each other and were crying, and then his wife came and then they were crying, and then he said, "How did you get here, my old friend? How did you get here?" And he says, "Your nephew brought me, Bucky Flett." And he's like, "Bucky Flett, where's Bucky?" And then Bucky comes in the door and he can't figure out why Bucky Flett has brought him to see his old friend. And then Bucky says, "I need you to meet somebody. This is the woman I'm going to marry." They were all crying. But you know, Archie Simpson said to me, "I want you to know something. Your dad's from here, you're from here. Don't ever let anybody tell you different." We were very happy that we were able to honor our dad's last wish and take him home to be buried in Fort Chip with his mom and dad and with our grandparents. You know, my dad was a wonderful storyteller, and he tells stories over and over. And we all love to hear them. Well, sometimes we all love to hear them. But you know, that's something that we still have to remember, that we need to listen to the stories that our parents and grandparents want to tell us. Our young people, they've got wonderful messages. We need to listen to those messages. You know, I was very fortunate. The first time I ever saw Dorothy MacDonald was on TV. I was so proud of this woman. She was fearless in her defense of her community. She wasn't going to let anybody in her community be hurt by those logging trucks that came through there. And she was also determined to bring cultural richness back to her community. Little did I know, when I was watching her on TV, telling my husband, "Come and look at this woman, come and look at this Aboriginal woman, what she's doing," because they'd set up the blockade that time. Well, she got the attention of the people after that, and her community was able to feel safer. Bev and I had actually met some years before. Our husbands were both playing ball, and went there to watch the ball, brought the children. And that was actually Zach Davies that came over and said, told his mom, "Will you ask that lady if we can play with her kids?" And so Bev came over and introduced herself and said, "My son wants to know if he can play with your children." And I was like, "Oh, of course." And she said, "Are you going to watch the ball?" And I'm like, "Yeah." "Well, I'm rooting for the opposite team, but if you want to sit with me, I'm okay with that." And I said, "Oh, it's just a ball game. I'm fine with that." And you know, that was the beginning of a long friendship. And I've never looked back, and I treasure all those memories. But I'll tell you something else. Through RARA and through some of the positions I held in the Regional Municipality with Buffalo, what I cherish the most is the 3.5 decades of being able to meet more and more people all the time, from Anzac, Conklin, John Bay, Fort McMurray, Fort Chip, Gregor Lake First Nations, because every one of these communities has their very own distinct personalities. Every one of them has the silent leaders, we call them, meaning they are not necessarily elected to a position, but by doing in their community, they are recognized and they are honored. Just like that young couple from Fort Chip. I'm going to miss, well, I already miss being part of the RARA committee, but it was wonderful to sit back there and watch the girls do all the work. But I'll never, I will always appreciate all of the elders, leadership, and all the friends that I made in each and every one of your communities. And I thank you so much. And I want to tell you something, you know, RARA is about empowering people. It's about building bridges. Whether we are from the First Nation, Métis, or Inuit community, we are all Aboriginal community. And we must always be very proud of our very rich culture, tradition, and ancestries. One of the proudest moments I want to share with you is when RARA celebrated its 20th anniversary. Roberta Jameson was the CEO of the National Aboriginal Achievement Foundation. And in her address, she acknowledged the RARA committee and congratulated them for having attained 20 years of the RARA Awards banquet, 5 years longer than the National Aboriginal Achievement Foundation. Over the years, I've also realized that whether it's with the SQUAIL, Treaty 6, Tribal Chiefs Institute, RARA was one of the first Aboriginal organizations in Alberta. But you know what? We're the only one that always was able to pack a house, and there's no alcohol at this event, and there never was. And that is something that I think each and every one of us should be very, very proud of. Because you know we're told, if you don't have alcohol and you don't have a dance, you're not going to be successful. Well, you guys all prove differently. Thank you all for, you know, every one of you for coming out here tonight. I'm so proud of each and every one of the recipients that came up here tonight. So proud of all those young kids. There are so many recipients, as the girls were telling you. Our Master of Ceremonies, our organizers, who received recognition as young junior achievers, who are successful business leaders today. And that's all about empowering people. Thank you. I hope you always come out to each and every event. And I want to say thank you to Adrian LaChance for that wonderful story that he shared with us of empowering people as well. Thank you.
If I can get your attention for just one more minute. As my mom said, she has been on the committee for 28 years. And this year, I was informed that we are putting an extra special award. So as can be seen by tonight's beautiful display, an event like this, I can tell you from personal experience, even from being on the very edge of the sidelines for so many years, it's not in any way, shape, or form a small feat. And I've been there to help whenever I could and as often as I could. However, if I was tired, I could always excuse myself. But there was one person who could not. And one person who swore through thick or thin, or even better, till death do us part, who was always there. And this person was there through the sleepless nights that his wife endured and the crunch times that caused all involved, mostly his ever-working wife, an enormous amount of stress. And I think we can all understand if one half of the household is stressed out, the other half isn't sitting pretty either. The man we recognize tonight is the ever-loving, ever-understanding, ever-quiet, and endearing man in the background. He understood quietly, mostly. He understood when his wife would crawl into bed in the early morning hours, and he understood when the dinner table became a mountain of papers and would take his dinner downstairs to the chair and watch TV. However, knowing him as I do, it wasn't always a negative thing. Every year, the excitement would begin around November in the house, and we all knew it. None more than him. He would run countless errands and be ready at a moment's notice to go here or deliver something there. The point is that he rarely complained, but I did say rarely. He might have thrown a few grunts and maybe more than a couple of eye rolls, but amidst it all, he was her rock in the background and something that he knew meant so very much to his wife. In all, the Regional Aboriginal Recognition Awards have meant so much to both of them, but he remained steadfast, and as we say, he took it with a grin. And he did this for her. He believed in RARA, but most of all, he believed in her and her vision. His wife, which he always understood, could and would make all the beautiful chaos that it takes year after year to make such a beautiful event like this happen, would never fail to always make others shine. So after the amazing 28 years that Mrs. Nora Flett has spent with RARA, tonight they've decided to also recognize the man behind the scenes as well. And we will give credit where credit is due to a strong, loving, patient, and most of all blessed man to be in the company of this amazing woman. In light of all her qualities tonight, we recognize, or of all his qualities, we recognize Mr. Gary Flett as the recipient of the Most Tolerant Husband Award.
Congratulations, Nora. That's a lifetime achievement for sure. And I'm sure everybody from RARA will be calling you throughout the years, so don't retire too early. But for now, I'd like to call up all the recipients that received an award. We'd like to do a photo op and do an honor song. So everybody that was a recipient of the award this evening, please come to the stage. Come on up. While you're making your way up here, I'd like to take the time to thank all of our chefs at Shell Place that gave us this amazing meal tonight. As we're getting organized, we'd also like to thank the RARA Committee for all their hard work and dedication. They volunteered their hours to make this night possible, so let's give them a round of applause as well. You'll all see the amazing centerpieces on your table. Those were made by Kevin Kaskaman from K Construction, I believe. Kevin, let me know if I'm doing it or saying it wrong. But those centerpieces are going to be given away to the table. So if your birthday is closest to today's date, you get to take those centerpieces home this evening. So you guys need to work it around among yourselves. And the honor song is going to be sung by Kelsey and Kendall Boostrom. They're going to be singing O Canada in Cree.
Two.
Check 1 2 2. Check 1 2. We're going to be singing O Canada in Cree. Kakanitak niti itawina nisagitanan niwia soatinan wase tehekta pwewinik kiweten nipitak Nikwayat kapon kakanitak Nikwayat sika boenan God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Thank you.
get some entertainment here tonight, folks. I'm going to introduce you to Luke, who is with the Child and Family Services Métis Dancers. You don't want to miss this, so stay tuned.
Howdy, everybody. Who's putting on their coats and getting ready to go? I don't like that. So, perfect. You know, we're Métis Child and Family Dancers. We come from Edmonton. We've been dancing for about over a decade. And if you're under the age of 18, I want you to raise your hand. That's awesome. You have no idea how much it means to me. I'm like, hey, you're a liar back there. That's okay. No, we've been dancing for over a decade now, and it really means a lot to me to see so many young faces here receiving awards, being active in the community, singing songs. This is by far the most integral part of the Aboriginal culture is the youth. We need the youth in order to keep the culture alive. And if you want to get closer, come watch us dance. You want to take a video, show your friends. We absolutely love all of that. And just as soon as our musicians get started and ready to go here, we'll show you guys some traditional Métis dancing. Does that sound good, everyone? That's perfect. Okay, we'll be back in about 2 minutes. Just waiting for the sound check, and then we're all good to go. Thank you, everyone. This is our first dance, and it's called the duck dance, everyone. So, how'd you guys like that? All right. Oh, it's getting to be some, I was about to say it's going to be some, boy, I can't talk. It takes it out of you. I was about to say, it must be some people's bedtimes here soon, but it's Saturday. Yeah, all right, perfect. All right, we got another dance for you guys coming on. This is a traditional square dance, but unfortunately, we don't have a dance group of 8. We only have 6, so it's more of a triangle dance, but you guys get it. All right, it's good to be here at the RARAs. RARA Rasputin. I'm just kidding. All right, you know what? Actually, my big bro, he was actually the recipient of a RARA Award, and my dad here came last year to accept it for him. This is my dad, everybody. Say hi. Yeah. And this is Diane, our Deanna. You know, I'm terribly sorry. Everyone say hi, Deanna. Oh, I just love that. All right, so this is the time of the night where the sashes come off. Don't fret, we're just doing the sash dance. All right, that was a sick joke. Okay, but we're gonna need a broom. Where's the broom now? Perfect. Cool. All right, thank you. Hey, give me back that sash. Oh, do you want my sash? Okay, she wants my sash. Here you go. All right, give a big welcome to Jada and Jordan. They're going to start this off. If you can't see their feet, please get up and move around. Come and see, come closer, take a video, post it on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Boy, there's a lot of those nowadays, hey? All right, take it away. Oh, hey, I just want to extend a big thanks to one of our dancers, Jenny Chuk. Raise your hand, Jenny. Raise your hand, give a wave. She actually lives up here now. We're all based out of Edmonton, and we're really thankful she could fill a spot in today. She was my dance partner for like 7+ years, so it's really cool to have her back with the troupe. And oh gosh, when we first started dancing, she was my partner, and she's about this tall, and I was 11. I was about this tall. So it's no, maybe a little bit exaggerated, but all right.
So you guys want to see our feet move real quick? Okay, we'll make this quick. This is the Orange Blossom Special, everybody. We said 2 times, but she just gave us a little bit of extra mustard and put us into 3 times. Hey, thank you very much. Did you guys like that? That's good stuff. Okay, we only got a couple more dances for you guys, but we're going to get the band to play us a tune real quick while we drink some water. Oh, wow. We can't do anything without them. So, thank you guys. Okay, we only got 2 dances for you guys. This next dance is kind of a fun one. We borrowed a traditional dance called the Drops of Brandy, but then we added a little flair to it near the end. So, hope you guys like it. Alrighty. And now it's the moment you've all been waiting for. The Red River Jig. And then you get to go home. Okay, this is the Red River Jig, everybody. This is the Métis national dance. If you're Métis or Aboriginal, Inuit, anything, and you don't know about the Métis Red River Jig, come on. Okay, this is Jordan and Jada setting it off again. We're going to do 2 changes each. Here we go. If I'm clapping. This is Jade and Jenny, everybody. Let's give it up for Luke and Jolene. Thank you so much, everybody. To everyone who stuck around, everybody who recipient of the awards. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm going to pass this off. We got a couple of young girls who are going to sing us a tune. Thank you, everybody, with the Métis Child and Family Dancers. We come a long way from Edmonton, so thank you for sticking around.
Well, thank you everyone for coming out and celebrating with RARA this evening. As you leave the room, we're going to be drawing these beautiful dream catchers. Sadie's going to pull the names out, and Stella will be passing them out. So Sadie, pull the first name, or pull the first draw. We're going to be calling numbers. So hold out your tickets for 061 for this beautiful dream catcher. Anybody in the room with 061? Going once? Oh, there we go. Next one, honey. 283. 283. Going once? 283, yes, we got a winner down the end. We'll keep this moving. 060. 060. Going once. Going twice. We're picking another one. Gone. 204. Oh, it was close. Oh, 204. We got a winner. Grab me another one, dear. Dig deep. 353 for this beautiful dream catcher. 353. Going once. Going twice. Oh, okay, we got a winner back there. Grab me another one, dear. I don't know, how many dream catchers do we have? Okay, 356. For this beautiful dream catcher. Isn't that a beauty? 356. Going once. Going twice. Okay, go on. 117. 117. Going once. Oh, there we go. We got a winner. Pass me another one, dear. 311. Ticket 311. Going once. Going twice. Okay, gone. 063. 063. Oh, yay. We have a winner. Pass me one, honey. 225. For this beautiful piece here. 225. Going once. Oh, here we go. We got a winner. All of these beautiful dream catchers were made by Helen Moore. Next winner, 278 for this piece. 278. Going once. Twice. Gone. 059. 059. Going once. Twice. Gone. 218. Yes, I heard a yes. That's another one. 375. Oh, we got another winner. 101. 101. Going once, twice, gone. 352. 352 going once.